Chapter 9 of the Innovator's Dilemma. This is the absolute key chapter in terms of actually succeeding in the marketplace. The question, how to build a disruptive technology into a market, how to create a market and actually succeed as a business. There's a little bit of a paradox here. On the one hand, Christensen says, follow the market, follow the customer, and succeed with disruptive technology. On the other hand, he says, if you do that, you get the risk of disrupted. But I will dissect that and show that this is not a paradox, that this is very consistent. This is the Not Even Wrong podcast. It's December 9th, 2020. This is Crimdelco. For the day, the fund is down 25.8%. The market's down 80 basis points. For the year, we're up 345%. The market is up 13.3%. If you put $100 in Orange Capital Partners on January 1st, 2020, you would have $445 today, and the same would have yielded $113.3 on the S&P 500. Christensen in chapter 9 really goes and builds meat around the bone, because all this discussion so far about disruption, about technologies, about how incumbents lose against disruptors, it's all theoretical. Where the rubber meets the road is where actually business gets done, where people succeed, companies succeed by selling products and services through the disruptive technology into a new market. For this, I would like to read a sequence from the book and then discuss the actual thesis. In the instances studied in this book, established firms confronted with disruptive technology typically viewed their primary development challenge as a technological one, to improve the disruptive technology enough that it suits known markets. In contrast, the firms that were most successful in commercializing a disruptive technology were those framing their primary development challenge as a marketing one, to build or find a market where product competition occurred along dimensions that favored the disruptive attributes of the product. So what is Christensen saying here? He's contrasting incumbent or less successful companies. They don't have to be incumbents necessarily, but companies that were confronted with disruptive technology and did not succeed, with companies that were confronted with disruptive technology and succeeded. And he's saying the less successful ones framed their challenge as a technological challenge, to improve the disruptive technology enough that it suits known markets, versus the disruptors, the successful disruptors, they framed their problem as a marketing challenge, to build or find a market where product competition occurred along dimensions that favored the disruptive attributes of the product. So what is being said here? Let's dissect this. First of all, you have two dimensions here. You have a technology dimension and you have a marketing dimension. The technology dimension is how can we improve the technology to the point where it suits our purposes. And the marketing dimension is how can we use the technology that is a given and build a market for it. This might sound maybe hair splitting, or what's the difference? Technology, market, in the end, you sell something to people. It has to be a technology and there has to be a market for it. But if you really think about this, it's a lot more subtle than this. What Christensen is saying here is that a lot of people, they are confronted with established market. This is the key. This is the inertia of people. This is how we function as humans. This is a very human thing. We are given something. And now we have a new technology and we try to squeeze this new technology into the something given. Example, Volkswagen has a given customer with certain demands on a product. They will use the new technology, if they can, to fit into the existing dimension of successful attributes of the product. So the car has to have range, the car has to charge fast, the car has to be fast, have a fast acceleration, etc., etc. So you're using this battery technology that is now a new thing, and you're trying to squeeze it into the existing attributes of customers' desires. So meaning the customers are demanding X, Y, Z. They have a certain matrix of demands. And you as an established player, GM, I don't want to just pick on Volkswagen here, GM has a certain dimension of matrices, a certain matrix of dimensions, certain things they have to give the customer. Take the pickup truck, the GMC pickup truck or whatever, the Ram or whatever they call it. I'm not familiar, but take a pickup truck. It has to be big. It has to have this masculine muscle kind of feeling. It has to be, it has to appeal to a male guy with a gun and a dog and a guy that likes outdoors, or at least thinks he likes outdoors, a guy that likes to put stuff in the back, all those things. So now how does the battery technology fit into this? Well, barely, because honestly, a lot of these attributes are irrelevant. In fact, some of it is even negative because the thing doesn't make noise and you want it to make noise and be loud and all that. Now come in the disruptor. Tesla is building a battery technology that has to find the market now. You see, here's the difference. You have a technology which is a battery technology, and we've always said on this podcast, it's not just a battery, it is a combination, an integration of battery, drivetrain, and battery management software. So let's call this triangle of innovation, the innovation stack that is actually driving the electric car performance. Now, this innovation stack is what it is. It's an innovation stack around battery, around drivetrain, and around battery management software. It enables a couple of things. It enables range. It enables extremely fast acceleration. It enables speed. It enables lightness. It enables no noise. It enables more independence from the grid in a sense that you have electricity in the car, quite some electricity. So here's already a new market. For example, plumbers, landscapers, and those guys, they could actually use the electricity of the car for their own purposes, and that has already been discussed, that even Tesla even might add some solar panels on the car and actually make these people be able to work all day with a compressor and tools like that on the site without having to deal with converting energy through diesel into electricity and all that stuff. But the point is, are you going to find a new market for all these attributes? And the answer is still up in the air. We don't know if the Cybertruck will succeed. The reservations are in the hundreds of thousands. It could be a fad. We don't know. I am personally excited, and I'm not a truck guy. And one of the jokes that went around after the Cybertruck got revealed was, this is a pickup truck for guys with Oakleys. And I am a guy with Oakley. I live in San Francisco, and I could be wearing Oakley. I don't wear, but actually I do. I'm sorry, I do wear Oakley when I ski. And there you go. So I'm the customer. So what is really going on here? I'm a new customer. I have certain demands on a product which is called a pickup truck that the existing guys, the GMs and the Fords, didn't have, weren't able to deliver me, didn't want to deliver me. What is my demand? My demand is design, coolness, differentiate myself from others through looking cool, being that wild guy in the wild, the Western guy with an Oakley. So I'm not a cowboy, I'm not a hillbilly, I am an urban, highly educated hedge fund manager, but I like this feeling of going out in the wild, driving a Tesla, driving an electric truck, being on the road, having power over others by being fast and have good acceleration. I like the view, the height, the size. I like the safety. I like the independence. I'm not necessarily the kind of guy that's going to use a compressor to work on a site, but maybe I might use it sometime when I camp, when I take my son to soccer. I don't know. It's still to be seen. Maybe there are things that we don't even know yet that could be evolving through the new disruptive technology. Now, let me get back to chapter 9. So, the success of disruptors lies in the ability to build a market through the innovation stack that is being built with the disruptive technology. This is the massive innovation here. Innovation meaning the new idea, the actual insight, the explanation, to use David Deutsch's words. The explanation that Christensen is offering us for success in the marketplace through disruptive technologies is that we have the ability to build a new innovation stack that is serving customers with new dimensions of performance. And the existing incumbents are caught in the trap that instead of building a new market with the new disruptive technology, they're trying to squeeze the disruptive technology into the existing market by adapting the technology to the existing performance matrix, which is existing right now in the marketplace. This is the fundamental insight. I think this is the absolute key of the innovator's dilemma. This is an explanation for success and failure in the marketplace. This is an explanation for why certain companies succeed and others don't. This is an explanation for how you generate wealth with an innovation stack. It takes a few more things. You need a size, you need the ability to manufacture at scale and things like that. So this is not a sufficient explanation, but it's a necessary explanation for success and wealth generation. And this brings me to my last point of today's episode, and it goes back to the question yesterday. Is there an objective investment? Is there an objectively good investment? And the answer is yes, there is. There is an objectively good investment, and this type of objectively good investment fits into a principle stack that you're building throughout your career. And once you have that principle stack, which by the way in itself can also be adopted, we are Popperians here. We always criticize everything and we try to evolve and get better solutions to replace not so good solutions. But for now, our principle stack is the best we have, the best explanation for how to generate wealth. And I said yesterday there are other principle stacks that can be used. It doesn't have to be the disruptive innovation principle stack that we have. It could be, for example, value investing. It could be risk arbitrage. It could be algorithmic trading. It could be using machine learning to generate arbitrage opportunities in the market. So there are other principle stacks, but it has to be built on an algorithm, on a principled algorithm. And our principled algorithm is based on 4 books. The Innovator's Dilemma by Clayton Christensen, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, The Innovation Stack by Jim McKelvey, and The Beginning of Infinity by David Deutsch. This is our principle stack. From there, if you want, this is our axioms. These are our axioms. Now we're building the actual principle stack from there to develop a good, objectively good investment. And the objectively good investment, now to come back to chapter 9, is the kind of investment where the disruptor is building a new market with the disruptive technology. I mentioned the potential of a paradox here because Christensen says in the first 4 chapters and also later on that the reason incumbents fail is because they follow their best customers and therefore miss out on the disruptive opportunity. And then he's saying the reason disruptors win is because they follow their customers into the new market. Now, I think after this thorough explanation of what I mean with marketing focus versus technology focus, or actually what Christensen means, I think it's clear that this is not a paradox, because what the disruptor is doing is following the new technology into a new market. So discovering together with the new customers how this new technology can be applied for new markets in terms of building a performance matrix that satisfies existing and new customers and builds on top of that. This is also being discussed in one of the previous chapters where we established the necessity to build an organization that is built for learning. That this is exactly what Christensen means. Built for learning that means you adapt your innovation stack by following the customer, learn what the new customers might need, how they could evolve. To use Tesla's example here, we have, for example, the need for, of course, we have the need for, let's say, range. We have the need for fast charging. We have the need for lower cost. We have the need for software integration. We have the need for the autopilot. We have new needs that come up. With a beautiful example is that because charging takes 15 to 20 minutes, we have a need for less boredom during charging, which means we have a Netflix integration. So this is a beautiful example for something that you might have thought maybe in the past, well, what's this going to be useful for? If I can't watch Netflix while I'm driving, why do I even have it? Well, how about while you're charging? Now, of course, this is more of a patch solution. Of course, what we want is actually faster charging to the point where we don't have to sit for even 20 minutes, maybe only 10 minutes. But the point here is that we're building with the customer, growing into a new marketplace and developing new products and services with the new technology, enabled by this new technology, and not being hostage to the old matrix of performance in products and services from the old markets. This is how success is happening in a disruptive market. And that's why we believe there is an objectively good investment if we can find companies that deliver against our principal stack. And we can do that by, of course, first of all, developing a principal stack and then testing it out in the marketplace by investing in companies and following the companies and see if they actually keep delivering against our own thesis and against our principal stack. And then eventually this should result in higher returns. And so far, we have been very blessed with that. Our returns are very satisfactory on that front. And we believe that our principal stack has some meat around the bone. We are able to deliver performance through the application of our principal stack. Thank you.